Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Mark is here with you for Arcadia Economics. And tonight we have a panel from the Silverfest 2 festivities last October. Still a few left we haven't gotten to share yet, including what are the top 5 places on the planet Earth that one would go and look for silver. And we were joined by Jorge Ramiro Monroe of Reyna Silver, that many of you have seen on the show, David Stein of Kuya Silver, and took a look around the globe. What are some of the best places if someone really wanted to look? Where would they go? So with that said, here is that call of where to look for silver, top 5 places. Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus back here with you at Silverfest 2, where I am broadcasting from the silver capital of the world in Mexico. As one of the new entrants to the festival, Jorge of Reyna Silver. I might add, Jorge, it's good that we have you here now. We're already on day 2 of Silverfest, and a lot of this you're responsible for.
I know. I think I'm the one who sent you to Puerto Vallarta.
Right. I was just fleeing the Let's Go Brandon movement in the U.S. because I could sense what was coming. I have a lot of good silver friends and mentors. I'm fortunate. So I leave. I didn't even know where I was going in Mexico. Somehow I wake up. I'm in Chapala for a couple weeks. I call my friend Jorge. Which part of Mexico did you grow up in, Jorge?
I'm from Mexico City.
Mexico City.
But I knew when I saw you for the first time, I was like, this guy would be perfect to live in Puerto Vallarta.
Well, it was close. I go up to Sayulita, which is where we are today. We will see you possibly here tomorrow for the after party or Sunday fun day. Maybe Ben Bernanke. What if Ben Bernanke picks you up in a silver helicopter and brings you here and gets you back in time for your flight?
You know, it sounds actually great, Chris. With if I have a couple of tequilas with lunch, I might actually hop on the next plane and catch with you there.
I heard Brandon was thinking about firing Joe Biden and opening a tequila factory. We will leave that aside for now and stay focused on silver because promised list of 5. So could we say, Jorge, that somewhere we have Tepic, Puerto Vallarta in this Mexican region, we can call it the Arcadia region of Mexico, is somewhere in the top 5?
You know, it's not.
Your mine is an hour away.
Yeah, but I don't think it's in the. It's not. It's interestingly. It's one of the. I would say it's one of the most underexplored regions of Mexico. When Greg comes in, maybe he can answer why. But it really is. It's it's just as potential as all the other districts in the north. And there are a lot of. I don't know if you know. I guess Endeavor Silver is about to put their new mine called Terronera, not too far away from where you are as well. Maybe a couple hundred of kilometers in. I think that one is in Jalisco State. So it's a big mining district, but it is definitely one of the ones that is still underexplored compared to some like Sonora, Chihuahua, Sinaloa, Zacatecas. Those definitely have more exploration, but just as potential.
David, any thoughts on anything you've just heard, or if you want to introduce another region, get that going on the second track? Jorge, we'll think of some way to define Region 1. Let's say if we called from Tepic down to Puerto Vallarta, east 200, 300 kilometers. You think of the parameters and we give David a turn. Sound good? While we get Greg warmed up. David?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think Peru belongs on the top 5 list. It's the second biggest producer of silver in the world after Mexico. I don't know if we're going to give Mexico more than one area. Maybe we can. I don't know enough about the sort of subdivisions of Mexican silver mines to be super intelligent on that. But I would suggest we talk about Peru. The third largest producer in the world is actually China, but we'll probably skip that. I don't have a lot to say about China, but they do produce a fair bit of silver in China as well. And and then I think from there, whatever you pick to be sort of 3, 4, and 5 after Mexico and Peru is a bit more about, I think, the exploration potential and the sort of opportunities that maybe are not so obvious right now.
Well, David, let me give you another question. Same question, phrased slightly differently. Obviously, you've built a company around looking for silver in Peru.
So why don't we say, since that's where you put your silver behind, your sound money behind, what was it that made you focus on Peru? You could have gone to Mexico. Obviously, there's different jurisdictional risks, whole different set of profile risks. So what did you analyze? Obviously, you think Peru's a good decision. Your shareholders agree with that. David, what led you to Peru?
Well, I have to say, first off, I was really focused on the Americas in general, and kind of sticking to North and South America as a sort of a broader place to look for projects. And in 2016, 17, my journey led me to Peru. So what I like about Peru is that, certainly from I come largely from an investment background, although I do have a technical background in geology and engineering, but spent most of my career on the in the capital markets investment side. And there's still there's definitely still great opportunities in Mexico, but in general, Mexico's been explored by dozens of junior Canadian companies over the last 20 years, and Peru much less so. And I think I know Peru's gotten a bit of a bad rap over the last few months with respect to politics, but I honestly would say in the bigger picture that it's quite similar to Mexico and a lot of other Latin American countries, if not better than quite a few as well. So certainly that the geopolitics were actually a plus for me, that Peru is a pretty stable mining country, and versus some of the other jurisdictions in Latin America that are really, really hard to operate. There's good people, there's good skilled people there. So if you do find something, you can actually put it into production, and it's not a huge headache. So that's why I like Peru, and we've for the most part been enjoying the journey ever since.
All right, that makes sense, David. And David, we had one other quick question for you before we have some Reyna questions coming in. David, looking forward for Silver King drills. When are these expected?
Yeah, so one of the other jurisdictions we might want to put on the list is northeastern Ontario. Produced between 1900 and 1980, produced 600 million ounces of silver. And then since the 1980s has produced pretty much zero. So we're going back in there, and we want to sort of rebirth this really exciting district. And it's, high grade silver veins, much like what we see in Peru and places in Mexico. The geology is different. You've got cobalt as a byproduct here instead of lead and zinc, but at the end of the day, it's still high grade silver, and it looks really, really, really good. So to answer Michael's question there, it should be soon in November when we'll have some results, and then actually we're at the same time preparing for another drill program on a different target, which I'll be able to talk more about shortly. But the backlog in Ontario has been, for assay results in general, has been ridiculous. We finished our program, I think, in early June, and we're sort of just getting the results now in the past month or so. So they're trickling slowly in. Once we have them all, we'll put out our news. But unfortunately, we're competing with all the dozens and dozens of gold projects that you have in Northern Ontario, and they're all using the same labs that we use. So it's been a bit of a nightmare, but we're getting through it, and it's starting to get better.
Well, David, how fortunately that we have you handling that rather than some fool like a Goldman Sachs banker, and that's why probably people feel comfortable. Yara, remind me to make an option trade so I can get leverage through options without using margin to get on a better Kuya Goldman Sachs spread. We'll save that for the option panel. Jorge, we got to turn it back over to you, because not only do we have three contenders, so some part of Western Mexico, somewhere in Peru. David has introduced. But David, you're up in Toronto. So what is it like on your weekends? You go like hunting for
Pretty
silver
much
in Toronto after your fun dominant.
I bring my metal detector and I go find silver.
Okay, if there's anyone who can follow that up, Jorge, while you consider what could be a fourth possible top spot on the earth, can we first do a lightning round? Your shareholders, they have so many questions. I'll pop them up on the screen. First of all, Jorge, is it true many churches are built over silver deposits in Mexico? Brief answer if you can, because we have so many questions for you.
Absolutely. It's actually pretty incredible, Chris. When you go to town after town after town after town, as a matter of fact, the churches are basically what happens is the cities are built on in close proximity to old silver mines. But for instance, you look at a city like Zacatecas. Zacatecas is literally sitting on what's one of the world's richest silver systems. As a matter of fact, I guess Defiance Silver is their deposit is literally walking distance from the from the city. So it's it's a fascinating history in terms of Mexico. By the time the Spanish came in the 1500s, I imagine the original inhabitants of Mexico already had a sense of where the silver was, and then the Spanish went and mined it very intensely. Not only during the colonial time, but all the way to beyond the time of the Mexican independence. So yeah, it's definitely true. When you go to there's a beautiful town, if anybody ever gets a chance to go to, called Tasco, which is where all the silver gets manufactured.
Diara, did you hear what he just said? Pop on for a second. Tell this again. Jorge, we go to all the silver dealers on the beach. And we're getting the gringo pricing, and they're saying the source is Taxco. But we have more shareholder questions. David, can you bear with us?
Sure.
Just Jorge, here's a good one. Please discuss the differences between your two companies, Reyna and Sierra Madre. And if I can add a part B to that, would you consider Sierra Madre part of our Western plot, which is Section 1, top place in the world? Or are they going to get their own region? David, you can comment on that as well.
Yeah, let's see if Greg Lillard comes in a second, but I'll tell you, I was lucky to be participate with Alex Langer and Greg Lillard when they started Sierra Madre Gold and Silver. At the moment, I'm more just an independent director, but big supporter of the company. Really love what they're doing there. Sierra Madre is in an area very close to where Chris is sitting in Nayarit, which is it's one of the most underexplored silver districts. There's already a resource that we have that we were able to acquire during the time. Oh, there we go. Beautiful.
Where do you think we could find silver in any of those mountains?
Pretty. It's a good chance. It might be a little bit hard to permit it into a mine, but.
So actually, interestingly, the geology of Bato Pilas is similar to what we have in Northern Ontario.
Right? So that's also a CRD.
Yeah, where you
so you have native silver.
Yeah, where you got the native silver associated with other metals.
Yes.
So it's pretty rare. I think they have it in Morocco with Aya's mine, but as you know, most silver mines are either associated with gold, silver only, or with base metals. So
actually, it would be great to compare notes at some point, because my understanding is that native silver is only present in Northern Ontario, in this district where we are in Mexico. And then I think there's one in Sweden. I forget the name of, or Norway. Yeah,
there's some European ones, and it's a different type. It's a different ore deposit type, but it can be very rich in silver, of course.
Yeah, one of our technical advisors is Doug Kerwin, and I don't know if you've ever met him, but he's quite passionate about these native silver deposits. If you ever want to have a chat with him as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's I personally would also be quite interested in talking to you at some point and see what you guys are doing there.
Yeah, no, it's be happy to do that.
Are you drilling there as well?
Pardon?
Are you drilling there as well?
We have been, yeah. We did. We did some drilling earlier on in the year in kind of close to some historical mines, and then we're about to do some more drilling in a completely sort of different area, about 30 kilometers away, but in the same geology, the same belt, basically. We're still awaiting the results actually on our first program, but it's you can basically find silver all over the place there. It's really really crazy. In a lot of the old mine dumps and stuff, you go and you can basically find native silver right at salt.
I've been to the district. It's close to Cobalt, Ontario, right?
Right. Yeah, that's what.
My fondest memory of that trip is the flies that you guys have there. Being Mexican, I was I got a little cocky and I said I'm not going to wear any repellent and it should be okay. And that
was a bad idea.
It's like a chunk of your flesh.
Now, David, how many regions do you think we have named so far? Recap how many spots we have, and then Ben has a comment here about Mexico. So, David, I'm recapping. We have some section of Mexico, possibly 2. We have Peru. We have Ontario. Have we introduced any 4th candidates yet?
Well, I think Ben is subdividing. He's calling the Mesa Central belt, including all these specific mines there that he listed, which sounds good to me. Yeah. That covers a lot of sort of central western Mexico, in terms of, I saw in the chat someone else mentioned Idaho, Nevada, and I think that's a legitimate contender for one of the places. It might be the same district. Frankly, you've got the Western Cordillera in the United States there, which sort of runs north-south, and I think there might even be some historical silver mines in California. I'm not entirely sure about that, but it's definitely a decent place. I mean, Nevada, the silver state, they discovered silver there before they discovered the gold. So it is known for that. And, just like we're going back to Ontario and sort of rethinking it and trying to overlay a more modern exploration approach, you could probably do the same thing in Western United States and get some good results there. And of course, it's a good jurisdiction to be mining in as well.
Well, that makes a lot of sense to me as we take a quick look at the silver price. 2:44 p.m. Central, 16 minutes before the bell on Friday. And Jorge, obviously, I am just gringo fleeing the Let's Go Biden, which is turning into the Let's Go Brandon political movement in the U.S. You are Mexican originale. And since it's the silver capital of the world, what about David? It sounds like you're on board. Before we give Greg one more shot, see if we got that audio ironed out. Why don't we just give Mexico 2 regions? We can divide it up later. We'll just say it's the silver capital. We'll call it 2. Call Peru in the conversation, Ontario, and now that accounts for Ben Whiting's comment. And Greg, let's test your audio again. Can you hear me clearly, sir?
Yes, that was my fault. I had another screen open.
No such thing as fault because we're at Silverfest where all we have is fun. Yes. So, Greg, can you introduce yourself to the crowd for a bit and maybe introduce if you have a 5th region that we should know about?
I'm the executive chairman and COO of Sierra Madre. Hey, Jorge.
My man, Alex.
I think, David, we've met on other conferences like this, too. So,
filling in for Sierra Madre. Actually, Greg, do you know you have a booth at this conference? You're a proud sponsor. Your man Alex took care of it for you.
Well, I was there yesterday when we were giving the silver away. So
we'll have to give away some silver in your booth later. But let me stop interrupting and take the 5th spot on behalf of Sierra Madre, which already is 2 regions in Mexico. But where's the 5th, sir?
Guys have pretty much covered all of it.
The panel says top 5, Greg.
Why don't you tell them, Greg? Why don't you tell them about La Tigra?
Wait. May I ask a question, Jorge? Gringo question. Since I'm a rookie,
my top's the Sierra Madres.
There we go.
If we were looking for outside of Mexico, Greg, what would you say about calling the Tonopah district, which has BlackRock and Suma Silver, and Nevada the silver state? So if we wanted to deal with Biden jurisdictional risk, could Nevada?
Oh yeah, but I think your first statement, the Biden jurisdictional risk. That's why
in California.
And I've done California too, and it's so I've done very well in Mexico. I'm quite fond of it, but the reason is because you can actually build a mine there.
Yeah.
The permit risk everywhere else is just. I'm too old to have to wait around 20 years to get something permitted. So.
Greg, can I give you a trick question that I think you might be prepared to handle?
Sure.
Jorge and David, you can play along at home. We only have a couple minutes left. I know we promised some of these guys are actually running silver companies, unlike me, who is on a rooftop waiting for the margaritas to begin at day 2 of Silverfest. But I find it interesting sometimes thinking about California, where we had the gold rush. Now, I used to drive from Denver out to California once or twice a year when I was living in Colorado. And perhaps you could say even Southern California was part of Mexico until the British imperialists invaded it. Jorge, you know what we learned as the Mexican-American War. In Mexico, they call the American invasion. So let's say you took Southern California, you lumped that in with Mexico. California actually, before it became known as California, was part of Native America. So really in that region, mineral rich, yet because of the policies, business-friendly policies of Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, and Joe Biden, all with a socialist tint on California. Imagine if we ever had a true free market policy in California. In fact, think about it like this, Greg. Let's say you could buy call options on California projects right before you knew the Joe Biden, American, George Bush, Hillary Clinton government matrix was about to collapse, and you would have real mining policies in California with all the untapped resources that the government has been trying to eat for themselves. If we could actually go in with gentlemen like yourselves who know how to mine, get it so that the people could use it, this maybe the 5th sweet spot. Let's call it Nevada, and we'll with a call option on California in case you ever removed Gavin Newsom, Joe Biden, and that type of policy. Greg, do you want to even comment on that? Can he?
Oh, no. In the 80s, I was quite active in California. I was with a company called Coca Mines, the old Congdon and Carey Limited Partnerships, which were some of the first silver bugs ever. We had several mines that Coca built there. And a lot of projects, but like you say, it's just the political environment is just not right. It's not time yet.
Jorge, what do you think about California?
Well,
you're willing to take on Mexico, but we get into California
we want it back so we can turn it. We want it back so we can turn it into Tijuana.
So did I hear correctly? You would take your chances mining for silver in Tijuana with the drug cartel before going into Mexico with the American Gavin Newsom political cartel?
No, I'm not going to say that. And I'm joking because I know most of your audience is American. So I'm just not going to get into any political comments. But
blame it on me. I said it. You were just answering a question. Why don't we turn it over to David Stein as I type my list? Actually, I think I figured it out. I think you guys are going to be impressed. Southwestern U.S. David, what's your recap takeaway before we wrap up here, sir?
All right. So I think for our top 5, we're giving Mexico two regions. Got Peru, got Ontario, 600 million ounces of historical production. We're getting it back on the map. And and Western United States. That's 5. So
Right.
we're not leaving the Americas. That's okay. There are other places in the world. I know Ben brought up Russia, etc. But I'll leave Russia to the Russians.
Well, thanks for watching. I hope you had fun. I know this wasn't the most formal discussion. This was the Saturday afternoon section of Silverfest, and hopefully you got to enjoy seeing that we were having a lot of fun, just being relaxed, and was nice to have that environment, which felt more like a retreat of sorts rather than a formal conference, which was something I wanted to do, and maybe a little different than the normal show, but thought it was still worthwhile. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you to Reyna Silver, Sierra Madre, and Kuya Silver, all sponsors of the show that helped to bring this to each night. So thank you to all 3 of those fellows and the companies they run. Hope you're having a great night out there. No silver was down today, but hopefully we'll just see you better tomorrow, and have a great night, and I'll see you soon.